Today's session is on changing moments, and this is very much inspired by what President Xi Jinping had said in the World Economic Forum. It was an online session this year, otherwise, it would usually be in Davos. And so he said this phrase, I think it was carried by the press: winter can't stop the arrival of spring. What he's basically saying is that bad times don't last forever. Eventually, and hopefully, we'll get out of this COVID-19 pandemic. And so that's the law of nature. Nature runs at its own rhythm. And, spring will follow winter. It's just a question of when and what's the temperature. And it's just like the stock market as well. What goes up must come down, or vice versa. So I think the point here is if we can accept the laws of nature, we will become less upset about maybe things that don't go our way, and we learn to be more accepting, especially when we're dealing with something that we cannot change. And so in mindfulness practice, we are cultivating the ability to get comfortable with things that don't go our way. For example, emotions that we don't want that are arising, and we consider them as unpleasant and we want to get rid of them. So in mindfulness, we're trying to cultivate that strength, that capacity to just deal with whatever that comes, and we can be comfortable about it. So in mindfulness, we are really focused on the relationship with our emotions and our thoughts. And the focus is not on changing the content of the experience. It's really more about our response, which is something well within our control. So in today's practice, changing moments, we're going to be observing, acknowledging and observing how our body changes throughout the practice, how our breath changes, how our thoughts come and go, how our emotions can be coming and going. So I would like to start now and just getting into a position that's comfortable for you, whether you are sitting, standing, or lying down. That's optional. And just closing your eyes if that works for you, or just looking downwards, or leaving your eyes open. There's also the option of just turning your gaze away from the computer screen and maybe just looking out to the window. Inviting the mind to just settle down, dropping into the body and allowing it to find its pace, its rhythm, as you're breathing in and breathing out. As best as you can, sitting upright. That helps with the flow of the breath. It helps us stay alert and awake. Upright and comfortable. Noticing our feet, where they are placed. How do they feel? Then noticing the fingers, where you've placed them. Noticing any sensations in your fingers. And when you're ready, directing your attention, resting your attention on the practice of breathing, attending to each inhale of the breath, taking your time, then observing the exhale, simply breathing in your own pace, not needing to breathe in any special way. In this practice of changing moments, we just follow nature. We allow nature to be. And so we're just breathing normally, not needing to rush the breath, nor even to slow it down. And if your mind is perhaps judging how you're breathing, all we have to do is just guide our attention back and just rest the attention on the breath, not needing to fix our breathing. So, moment by moment, feeling the breath as it comes in and leaves the body, observing how does the body change at each in-breath, the breath coming through the body and then leaving out through our nostrils. Observing closely as each moment passed, one breath at a time. The mind may start to drift, which is very normal. That's nature at work. The mind is meant to drift. The mind is designed to wander. So we choose our response by not judging the mind for wandering. And we just have to just slowly guide it back to the breath. Perhaps the mind is feeling restless. Just acknowledging it to be restless. Or perhaps the mind is thinking 2 steps, 3 steps ahead. Just saying, hey mind, come back to the breath. Let's stay in the present moment. Not needing to rush. If there's any part of the body or perhaps thoughts that are constantly popping up in the mind, if there are thoughts that are really distracting, just acknowledging what they are. Work, perhaps putting a label could help. Work, studies, lunch, dinner, evening plans, WhatsApp. Ac- Acknowledging allows us to steady the mind. So just letting those thoughts come and go, not needing to add more stories. Or perhaps there's some parts of the body that's pulling for your attention. Maybe some feelings of stress, anxiety, or just feeling not good, or maybe just feeling happy and calm. Just acknowledging that and observing how does that feel in the body? Where is it felt? Is it a heavy feeling or a light feeling? Airy feeling? Sour feeling? Or a joyful feeling? Just watching slowly, intentionally. The usual instinct maybe to push it away, to say go away, or to ignore it, or to even just bury it down somewhere. In this mindfulness practice, we open towards those feelings and tell ourselves it's okay to have these feelings. Noticing how these feelings can come and go, moment by moment. Just watching those feelings, observing them. Are there gaps between sensations of those feelings? Watching closely. Each time the mind drifts, we simply just direct the attention back to the breath or to a part of the body that feels comfortable for you. As we're sitting, standing, or lying down, just noticing how each moment differs. This moment we are taking a breath in, next moment we are exhaling. Next moment, the belly is rising. The next moment, the belly is deflating. Thoughts come and go. Simply just acknowledging and just observing them. Observing nature at work. And if you are noticing any emotions that seem difficult, just keep this in mind. This too shall soon pass. Winter can't stop spring from coming. If you're finding yourself feeling sleepy, seeing if you can just move your posture slightly or just maybe straighten up slightly. And directing the attention on the breath, just simply resting our awareness on the breath. As the mind moves along to other things, to thoughts, planning, strategizing, maybe even judging your experience right now. Very gently bringing the attention back to the breath or to a part of the body that's comfortable for you. And keeping our attention on each moment, observing the changing experiences of nature, breathing in, breathing out, how sensations in the body may be shifting. or maybe waves of emotion coming and going. And just watching, not needing to fix them or to push them away. So, any feelings that may feel unpleasant or pleasant, it's okay. Just giving ourselves the space to just acknowledge them like a friend or an old friend, and just saying it's okay. It's okay to be here for a while. Now, as you keep your eyes closed or remain in focus of your breath, I shall just read you a very short haiku, like really short. And it is really about reflecting on the impermanence of nature, how different moments can give us a different experience. And this short haiku is written by Kobayashi Issa, a Zen poet. The world of dew, the world of dew is a world of dew, and yet. So, in just in the last few moments of this practice, just keeping the awareness on the breath, silently patting yourself on the back, congratulating yourself for sitting through this practice, watching your experiences with patience and mindfulness, inviting a sense of gratitude to be able to just sit together with friends and new friends. And so, when you're ready, opening your eyes and maybe doing some light stretches and just bringing this sense of mindfulness and peace, slight some peace to the next few moments of your day, and have a good afternoon.